Hey, kiddos. So, here we go. How are we able to see that? Little glare, I know. If you prefer to use the advanced strategies from lessons 3 and 4, go for it. But I am a big proponent of guess and check. 3b squared minus 5b, b to the third, minus 5b squared plus 2b. In this case, there is a GCF. There's b's across. The smallest exponent is 1, so I divide out a b. That leaves me with b multiplied by 3b squared minus 5b plus 2. So now I can factor 1 and 3, 1 and 2. Last sign's positive, so it's going to be negative, negative, because it's negative then positive. I go 3b, I go 1b. I'm looking for a 5, I'm going to go 1 and 2. Just guessing. So make our smiley face. Let's check. That gives me 3b times negative 2 is negative. Hope I did my math right. That would give me a negative 6b minus 1b is negative 7b. Remember, so I've got negative 1 slash negative 2. That does not work. So let's switch. So now I've got negative 2 slash negative 1. That gives me negative 2b minus 3b, which is negative 5b. Hot darn. So now I have my factors. There are 3 factors, b, 3b minus 2, and 1b minus 1. Okay. Number 12 gives me 7x squared minus 32x minus 60. There are no GCFs for this guy. So factor, 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 factor. 1 and 7, it's always nice when those are prime. 1 and 60, 2 and 30, 4 and 15, 5 and 12, 6 and 10, no 7. So there's a bunch here, okay? It's tough. There's a bunch there. 7x, 1x, last term's negative, plus, minus. This is going to stink. Here we go, starting in the middle. So the closest ones are 6 and 10. So let's go 6, let's go 10. Smiley face, smiley face. So I've got 10, negative 6. 10x minus 42x gives me negative 32x. Oh, man. I love when I guess correctly on the first one. Again, I always personally will start with my closest numbers. There it is. Those are my factors. Plain and simple. 13 is 30. Oof. N squared b minus 87nb plus 30b. Okay. So in this case, there is a GCF. A 3 can get divided into all of them. Well, what else is the same in all of them? A b. So I can factor out a 3b from everything. That leaves me 3b with 10n squared minus. That's going to go in twice, leave me 27. So that's 29n plus 10. I'm going to get a calculator just because I don't want to make a mistake. And you know what? It's been that kind of day. So let's do 87 divided by 3. Oh, man, I love when I'm right. Okay. So now I've got my 3b. And now we get to the first really tricky problem. Negative positive is going to be negative, negative. 1, 10, 2, and 5. Ooh, so now we have 2 choices there. But 1 and 10, 2 and 5. So I'm going to start with my middle ones. 5n, 2n. Then let's go 5n, 2n. So now here's what I'm going to do on the outside. I'm going to put 5 slash 2 and negative 5 slash negative 2. There's 2 sets, so I want to keep them there. So check. That gives me negative 10n minus 10n, which is negative 20n, which is not right. Okay, so let's switch. Notice how I put n's there. I didn't mean to put n's there. So now I'm going to go negative 2, negative 5. So now, notice how I'm just going to kind of bring that down. So I'm checking all of my options with 5 and 2. So that's negative 4n on the inside. That's negative 25n on the outside. That gives me negative 29n. Matches up. I have three factors, which are 3b, 5n minus 2, and 2n minus 5. Okay, where's my rag? Losing my mind. Number 14 has no GCFs because the smallest number, which happens to be 5, is a prime number. Therefore, there are no coefficient GCFs. 1 and 9 or 3 and 3. 1 and 10 or 2 and 5. So here we go. Factor, 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 factor. Last term's negative, so it's positive minus. Start with 3r and 3r. Start with 2 and 5. Smiley face, smiley face. That gives me 6r. So now I'm doing 2 slash negative 5. So that gives me 6r and minus 15r, which is negative 9r. No. Okay, so let's go 5 slash negative 2. Hold on. 5 slash negative 2. So that gives me 15r minus 6r, which is still 9r, which is not correct. Okay, so I've used 3 slash 3 for these. 2 and 5 don't work. So now I'm going to still keep 3 and 3, and now I'm going to try 10 slash negative 1. So that gives me 30r minus 3r, which is 27r. Well, that's not right. So let's go negative 1 slash 10. Not negative 1 slash 10, negative 10 slash positive 1. So that gives me 3r minus 30r. That gives me negative 27r, which is not right. Okay, so we know it's not 3 and 3. So now I'm going to try 9 and 1. So that's all with 3 and 3, so now I'm doing 9 and 1. Okay, so now I'm going to try 1 slash negative 10. That gives me 1r minus 90r, which is not even close, it's negative 89r. So let's go 10 slash negative 1. So 10 slash negative 1, that's 10r minus 9r, which is 1r, which, no, that's not right either. Okay, so we've tried 10 and 1. Let's try 2 and 5. So 2 and 5, here we go. So now I'm doing 2 slash negative 5. That gives me 2r minus 45r, which is negative 43r, which is not right. Okay, last try. So now we're doing 5 and negative 2. Let's see if this works. So now we're doing 5 slash negative 2. Okay, so now I've got 5r minus 18r, which is negative 13r. So none of those work. Well, now we've got a problem. So why do none of these work? We've tried 1, we've tried 10. So can we factor this out? Am I missing anything? 1 and 10, 2 and 5, 3 and 3, 1 and 9. Did I write the problem correctly? Because sometimes that's the problem too. 9r squared minus 5r minus 10. So far, none of these have worked. Therefore, there is no factor for this. I'm going to double check to see if I did something wrong, but I've tried all of the options. If none of the options work, it is not factorable. And is that stinky? Absolutely. But I've tried all of the options and they didn't work, so it is not factorable. There are no two things that will multiply to give me this. So there is nothing that will work. You will not have one on your quiz like that. I promise you, you will not have one on your quiz like that. But it's good to see. Okay, let's try number 15. So now we've got 9p squared r plus 73p r plus 70r. Okay, the only thing that we can factor out is r. So now we've got dividing out an r, dividing out an r, dividing out an r. That leaves me with 9p squared plus 73p plus 70. So now I have r factor, 1, 9, 3, 3, 170, 235, no 3, no 4, 5 goes in, once 20, so 14, and then 7 and 10. Okay, so I'm going to start with 3p and 3p plus, start with 10, start with 7. Smiley face, smiley face. So now I'm going to do 3/3 and then put everything underneath it. So I'm doing 10/7. That gives me 30p plus 21p, which is 51p. Oh, okay. Hey, so why don't I need to switch these? Well, because it's 3 and 3 and they're both the same signs, switching them does not help. So 7 and 10 doesn't work for this one, so let's try 5 and 14. So let's do 5 and 14. So that's 15p plus 2, regroup the 1, that's 42p. That gives me 57p. Does not work. Okay, so it's not 5 and 14. So let's try 2 and 35. Well, 3 times 35 is bigger than 73. That's not going to work, so I already know that 2 and 35 is not it. So I'm going to put 2/35 and an x. Same thing with 1 and 70. 70 times 3, not going to work. Okay, so it's not 3 and 3. So let's try 9 and 1. So now we're going to do 9 and 1. So I go back to the beginning, and I'm going to try 7 and 10. That gives me, now I'm doing 7/10. That gives me 90p plus 7p, which is 97. That's not quite right. But this time, because the numbers aren't the same, we can switch them. Let's go 9 and 7. That gives me 10/7. That gives me 10p plus 63p, which is 73p, which is correct. There are my factors. Do you see how quickly this can become difficult? The more problems that you have, the more numbers that are not prime, the tougher it's going to be. I'm telling you, number 16 is not factorable. Another one of these. I'm not going to go through it because, again, that's not the goal of what we're trying to do. Okay, it was good to see one that you could not factor, but that's not the goal of what we're trying to do. So number 17, 4x to the third plus 43x squared plus 30x. Okay, I can factor out my x. So I have x, 4x squared plus 43x plus 30. 1 and 4, 2 and 2. 1 and 30, 2 and 15, 3 and 10, 5 and 6. Okay. So now I'm going to have x, parentheses, plus 2x. When I can use the same two numbers and it's not changing, that means I only have to try them one time. So I'm going to start with 5 and 6. 5/6. That gives me 10x plus 12x is 22x. Nope. Okay. So let's go 3 and 10. That gives me 6x plus 20x, which is 26x. Nope. Okay. So let's try 2 and 15. So that's 4x plus 30x. This is 30. Okay. Let's try 30 and 1, which gives me 60x plus 2x, which is 62x. That's still not it. Okay. So 2 and 2 doesn't work. So now let's try 1/4. So now I'm going to do 1x and 4x. And I go back to the middle, 6 and 5. Let's go 6 and 5. That gives me 24x plus 5x, which is 29x. So let's try 5 and 6. The reason I have to try them both ways is because my numbers are different. So now let's go 5 and 6. That gives me 20x plus 6x, which is 26x. Again, this is why I'm giving you plenty of time to work on these. Let's try 3 and 10. So now I'm going to do 3/10. That gives me 12x plus 10, which is 22x. Nope, that's still not right. Okay. Last one to try for this, 10 and 3. That gives me 40x. That gives me 3x. That gives me 43x, which is perfect. So now I have 3 factors. Yeah. Okay, last one. And you will have problems like that on your quiz. This is why it's important to keep things in order and show your work. Last but not least, we have number 18, 10 m squared plus 89m minus 9. There is no GCF. 9 doesn't go into 10. 3 doesn't go into 10, so we're good. Parentheses, 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 plus minus. 1 and 10, 2 and 5, 1 and 9, 3 and 3. So let's go 2m, 5m, 3, 3. So we're doing 2/5. That gives me 15m, so 2/5, and 3/-3. So that gives me 15m minus 6m, which is 9m. Does it matter if I switch those 3's? No, because it's not going to make a difference because it's still going to be 3's. So let's try 9/1. 9/1 is 45m minus 2m, which is 43m. Doesn't matter. Let's try 1 and 9. I know it's not going to work, but let's try it anyway. So 1/-9. That gives me 5m minus 18m, which is -13m. So that doesn't work. Okay, so 2 and 5 doesn't work. Let's try 10/1. And let's go back to 3 and 3. That gives me -30m plus 3m, which is -27m. Okay, so 3 and 3 doesn't work. So 3/-3. Let's try 9/-1. 9/-1. That gives me 9m minus 10m, which is -1m. No, okay, so let's try 1/-9. Last but not least, 1/-9 is 1m minus 90m, which is -89m. There is my factor. This is all about guess and check. I would recommend, since A day you have your quiz on the 10th, B day you have your quiz the 11th. That gives you plenty of time to come in and ask for help.